Shalom, this is YHWH. I'm making this video because I continue to see people blast the name of Yahuwah or the Tetragrammaton YHWH. This video is not to debate, it's not to stir confusion, it's to correct understanding and dispel ignorance. Simply because I hear this name Ahaya, which I'm not gonna knock. And I see all this information trying to dispel the Tetragrammaton in the name of Yahuwah simply because Freemasons use it. Now let me correct this understanding. First, let's start with the reason why Freemasons use it. And a lot of you read these books and you don't really understand witchcraft and the purpose of doing such things. Well, that's irrelevant. Let's just cut to the chase. Freemasons call on the name of Yahuwah because in this ritualistic spells is to defile his name and is to blaspheme against him so that they will be cursed. They think it is some kind of good thing while doing it. But the higher Masons that do it and study this know that they serve the devil. They get all of their instruction from the devil. So to call on the name of the Most High along with other deities is to blaspheme his name, and that is the unforgivable sin, which is also what you guys are mistakenly coming upon, is the unforgivable sin by trying to throw out the Tetragrammaton. And so they blaspheme and get this do this unforgivable sin, and then the devil has them. Because everyone who really knows about Freemasonry knows that all up until you get to 32nd and 33rd degrees do you truly realize what you're doing, and that's it. They're serving the devil. People have said it like Albert Pike in his book Morals and Dogmas of Freemasonry. Also, Manly P. Hall. Plenty of more Freemasons have said that they openly worship the devil. Now, the point is, the devil gives them their doctrine, and the devil wants their soul. That's period, point blank. Just because they're using it for spells and stuff like that doesn't mean that they're getting any power for it, or they worshiping any true deity by their name. Because first of all, if you believe in Yahushua said no one can serve two masters. Either you love one or hate the other. So how can you worship three deities? No, there has to be one you prefer. There has to be one you're in true service to, because one has a rule and another has another rule. You either follow one rule or the other, and if you forsake one's rule for the other rule, then you're forsaking the other. So you have to choose one. So it's either one person's rule or the other. They forsake the law of Yahuwah for the rule of the devil, because Yahuwah said, "Have no other deities before my face." Now here's the actual historical references and proof. Now, when you look at the Tetragrammaton, a lot of you are speaking against the Tetragrammaton. One, for the name of Ahaya. Now, I'm not going to speak against the name of Ahaya, because I will say that is the name of Yah. It is. But it's his name to call of himself. When you read Exodus chapter 3, verses 14 through 16, he talks about verses 14 through 16 that he tells Moses, Ahiyah, Asher Ahiyah, which is I am that which I am willing to be, or I am the self-existent one. And then he said, my name is Ahiyah. That means I am. And then he goes on further to say, moreover, tell them Yahuwah Elohim has sent you. Now, Yahuwah means he is. You guys have to learn about Hebrew verbs and their changes in tenses and how they contract and how they are conjugated. Because there are two verbs being used here, and they're both found in the Hebrew scriptures, and they are both verbs for to be. And they are legit Hebrew verbs that are legit Hebrew verbs, and they mean to be, and they're twin verbs. One is haya, and the other one is huwa. Now, we can see haya being used in plenty of spaces in the places in the scripture, but I'm not going to bring that up, the verses up. You guys can find it on your own, because most of y'all are familiar with the verb haya. But there's also the second verb, huwa, or hawa. In modern Hebrew, it's pronounced hava, but it's the letter hey, the letter wow, and the letter hey. And you can find this used in plenty of places in the Hebrew text. One text, for instance, is Genesis 27 and 29, chapter 27, verse 29, where huwa is used for to mean to be. The other one is Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 6, where you can read in the Hebrew the word huwa or hawa is used for to mean to be. Now, these verbs are conjugated in different ways depending on the person and depending on plurality. You have first, second, third person, singular, and plural. And it also takes upon masculine and feminine. Like the verb haya. If I were to say ahya or ahya, that means I am. If I were to say tahya, that means you are or she is. Or you could say will be for any of this. I will be, she will be, you will be. That's what it means. If you say Yahya or Yahya, that means he will be. Now the same thing with the verb huwa. It takes on ahwa, I will be, tahua, she will be, you will be, and Yahuwah. Yahuwah means he is. Now let's go back to the verse Exodus chapter 3, verses 14 through 16. He said, he came to Moses and said, Ahia Asher Ahia, I am that which I am willing to be, which means I am the self-existent one. I exist because of my own existence. I don't no one else calls my existence, I cause my own existence. Then he goes on to say, Ahia or Ahia, I am or I exist. But then he said, moreover, tell the children of Israel, he is sent you, Yahuwah. He's using two separate verbs that mean the same thing, to be. Those are the two verbs used in Hebrew for to be. It's in the text, read it. So he's telling Moses, my name is I am, but you have to tell him he is. I mean, you have to tell Israel that he is sent you, because Moses can't go to Israel and say, I am sent me. He has to say he is sent me, the one that exists. He exists. Not I am exists, because the Israelites would have looked at him and said, so you're saying you're a god, basically. Now let's get back to the historical point of archaeological resources. I have three witnesses, and that's all Torah requires of anything in court to be held as a faithful and true witness of Yahuwah appearing in text at least 2,000 years old. Two of them are definitely exceeding 2,000 years old. Okay? The first text is the silver scrolls that were found in Ketef Hinnom. The silver scrolls that were found in Ketef Hinnom, I believe they were found in an archaeological site in I believe it is Jerusalem. They've been excavating, or in Israel, they've been excavating this site, and they've been coming around upon a lot of startling archaeological finds like signet stamps and clay tablets, other things for administrative purposes, and they've been finding names like Zedekiah and all kinds of other people that are associated with this stuff. Among this, they found silver scrolls with Numbers chapter 6, and most profound among this finding was the script or the Aaronic blessing. And in the Aaronic blessing was the Paleo Hebrew, and it read on it the name Yahuwah. Now the two scrolls, which are identical yet are deteriorated to a great degree, they are deteriorated to a great degree, but they still include the name of Yahuwah on both of these scripts. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if I can remember properly, let me remind my mind back. But the Dead Sea Scrolls. In the Isaiah scroll, there is, in fact, let me pull up the source. In the Isaiah scroll, there is, in fact, the name of Yahuwah. Now, actually, also within the Psalms of David. The Psalms of David. Psalms 119, chapter 56 through 64. I'm sorry, verses 56 through 54. On verse, what is it, 64. No, 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 no. Let me go back because I'm reading it in the Hebrew. Bear with me for one moment. Yep, and verse 64. Verse 64 is the name of Yahuwah in the Dead Sea Scrolls of Psalms 119, verse 59 through 64, and it's in the Isaiah Scrolls. Now that's two witnesses. Now we got the Silver Scrolls that is found around, that dates around 600 BC. That's before the Babylonian captivity, so you can't blame it on Aramaic and you can't blame it on the Babylonians. And we also have this Dead Sea Scroll. Now the third source is actually called the Mesha Stela, or the Moabite Stone. And it has not only the name of Yahuwah as a tetragrammaton, but also the name of Israel on it. YSHR, the letter Aleph, which I guess you can translate to as an A, and then an L, Lamed. So it has the letters Yod, Shin, Resh, and then it has Aleph, Lamed as Israel, and it also has Yahuwah as Yod, He, Wow, He. So this is a stela by the Moabites commemorating the victory, but they're talking about Israel and its deity. So this is a very old stone. If I'm not mistaken, this stone dates back to between the time of 1800 and 1400 BC. So that means you cannot blame it on Freemasons. You cannot blame it on any other type of group about whose Israel deity was, because you have other sources talking about us and who our deity is, and we have our own sources talking about us and who our deity is. The Dead Sea Scrolls, the Ketef Hinnom Silver Scrolls, as well as the Mesha Stela, or Moabite Stone. And Mesha was a king of the Moabites who was commemorating the victory, and he was speaking about Israel, and he was also speaking about Israel's deity. And it's in there. I have it on my Facebook page. Have it circled in red, the Mesha Stela with the Moabite stone. So please stop with this bashing of the name of Yahuwah. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the name of Yahuwah. And if you need to watch out, be very careful, because that is the one sin that is not forgiven. So be real careful with his name. That's why you notice I didn't say anything against Ahiah, because there is his name to himself, because he can say I am, but we cannot say I am. We say he is. I'm not going to say anything against that, because that's his name and I honor and respect it. But Yahuwah is also his name. You say one name, there's only one name, but you don't get the Hebrew understanding. The Hebrew understanding is that yes, it is one name, and they both mean to be. He is, he exists, and it's just the same name in a different tense. But he gave it in Genesis chapter 3, verses 14 to 16. He told Moses, after he said, Ahiyah Sher Ahiyah, and then he said, Ahiyah, that is my name. And then he said to Moses, moreover, tell them Yahuwah Elohim, he exists, who is the deity of all deities, or the greatest deity, has sent me to you. And he said, this is my name in memorial for all generation. Shalom.